Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Dr. Josh.
I'm Dr. Kristina.
And welcome to Crossroads Chiropractic Facebook Live. we gotta get like theme music or something like that.
Yeah,
That would
exactly.
be awesome. Facebook Live.
We can figure something out.
So today, you're gonna dig this video.
Oh boy!
Isn't that cheesy? I'm a dad. I got cheesy dad
The
humor.
cheesy dad humor is already coming out.
Cheesy dad humor is coming to live.
Oh jeez.
So we're going to talk about some gardening tips because the weather is incredible outside right now.
Yeah.
Last week I got my raised garden filled with dirt. Right.
Oh, nice.
Everybody's been talking about their gardens. I think gardening is the cool thing to do this year.
Yeah.
With the shutdown and
Well,
everything
honestly,
like that.
the lines at the garden centers now are ridiculous.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
I don't bother right now, to be honest.
I need seeds. I think I might have to order seeds. If
Order
you guys
online,
know good site for organic seeds, put in comment
There you
below,
go.
please, so I can find them.
Excellent,
Because
yeah.
I need them. But yeah, no, so what we thought, Dr. Kristina and I thought today what we would do is basically give some tips on how to keep your back safe while you're doing your gardening, because gardening requires a lot of physical activity.
Yeah.
It requires a lot of movement. It requires putting your body in positions that you're not used to.
Right.
And it's kind of like going from zero to running a marathon for some people, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
we want to make sure you're safe. So we're going to go over a couple tips that we want to give you to make sure that this weekend, next weekend, the following weekend, you can continue to enjoy gardening.
Yeah.
And
While protecting your spine and your back.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right.
Awesome.
We want you to do well. So, first tip.
First tip.
What's the first tip?
The first tip. All right, so let me go.
You go for it.
The first tip I would recommend in terms of when you're having to go and pick things up. You kind of want to obviously make sure that your spine stays neutral.
Yep.
And golfers have a really good stance for this, I guess.
Yeah.
And that's a golfer's pickup.
golfer pickup.
Basically. So you're going to put most of your weight on one leg, and you're actually going to extend your leg straight out behind you.
Without kicking them off.
Without kicking anybody.
They are kicking anybody.
Don't kick anybody. There's a bug here. So you're going to want to extend your leg out and then bend your knee a little bit, the supporting knee, and then go down to pick up.
Yep.
And that way your back actually stays as neutral as possible.
And you can actually feel it too, right? You're feeling it in your pelvis. You're not feeling like you're hunched over like this, right?
Exactly.
So and it actually acts as a nice counterbalance too.
It does. It really does. And I mean, a lot of these tips too that we're giving, let's just, put a disclaimer, I guess, are for people who don't have knee problems, don't have hip problems, for the most part.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. If you have artificial hip, artificial knee, major hip problems, major knee problems, you got to be very careful.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So these may not be for you.
And you want to have like decent balance. Maybe like hold a rake while you're doing that, so you have a base of support as well. So you're not only, using just your balance. You can have something to support you.
Yeah.
So that's a great one.
Yeah. So then you become more of like you give that extra support, keep your balance, bend over, pick it up, and
Exactly.
you're good to go.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Tip number 2.
Tip number 2. Raking.
Yeah.
My yard has the worst thatch like you would not believe. So I spent a lot of time raking. I have a thing for my tractor that picks up the leaves, but doesn't go deep. I got to get like a dethatcher. But so I'm raking like crazy. So
that's
the key with raking and key with anything when it involves this type of movement is you want to avoid any twisting movements, right? Because people get and it happens, right? You start a project, you look at your yard, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is going to take me 10 years to get this done. And so you end up starting to cut corners. And one way we do it is we stand in one spot and we try to rake everything around. It's like that is terrible for your back because you're putting yourself into flexion and rotation, and that really strains the lumbar disc. So when you're doing, rake from in front of you and pull. Move your body position. Take a step forward. Pull. Take a step to the next area. Pull it into you, right? You want to be bringing it into you in very linear type of movements versus this rotation.
And switch your grip too.
And switch your grip. Absolutely.
Yeah, so lead with, your left hand and then lead with your right hand. That's what I always do to keep it balanced. Because if you're only working on one side, then it can really strain that shoulder.
And there's going to be one side you feel more comfortable with, right? Obviously, you're going to always want to fall back on that one. But making sure you try, because that's actually good. Because if you watched our video, a few weeks ago? Brain activity, learning a behavior both ways, right? Your left side, right side, you're training your brain. Good for your spinal health. Good for balance, but also, You're learning a new
You're
skill.
learning a new thing, even though it's like a simple everyday thing that you're used to. Just switching your grip changes the whole outlook.
Whole thing, which is fantastic.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Awesome. So, next tip.
Tip number 3 would be for mowing. So if anybody has still a push mower, you definitely want to, again, what Josh was saying, keep it in a linear motion. You don't want to be twisting or, pulling at awkward angles when you're using a mower. And you want to make sure actually that you kind of keep it static in front of you, in front of your hips. So you're pushing and you're actually standing up straight and you're pushing forward from your hips. Because you don't want to be pushing forward like this, because again, you're not keeping your back neutral and you're going to be straining the muscles, straining the tissues there, and that can really be a problem.
Now let's be realistic. If you're pushing it through your pelvis the way you're supposed to, like Dr. Kristina mentioned, you're probably going to go a little bit slower.
Yes.
and you're going to get a better cut.
Exactly. That's it.
What's the worst thing of when you do pass and you have to come back and do another pass? I always hated that, right?
That's it. So, yeah. So
also,
don't rush.
You should probably make sure your blades are sharp too.
That's it. Yeah, definitely.
That's not a chiropractic tip.
That's just a general tip.
Exactly. That's another one. Now, what's the next tip?
The last one was the fencer pickup.
Fencer pickup?
Yeah.
So that's kind of like the golfer one, really.
It's
when you think about it,
little bit like the
it's a modification of the golfer one. So what that one is if you really have to get down, instead of most people when they pick up, they want to do the squat, like bend down like that. What a fencer pickup is basically, you want to take a step forward, go down,
kind of like a lunge.
Do like a lunge, and then you pick up. Sorry, you can't see me.
It's okay.
And just like Dr. C mentioned before, where if you can hold onto a rake or hold onto something to give you that 3-point stance is awesome, right?
Yeah.
So be very, very careful through. Actually, no, you know what our tip was?
What?
It wasn't that.
It wasn't?
No, we were wrong. We missed the one tip. The tip that we were going to talk about is if you're going to be bending forward and spending a long time on your knees, make sure you have a mat to protect your joints.
Well, that's if you have to go down on your knees.
That's if you have to go down on your knees, yes.
Yeah, and like pull out weeds. Yes. Because, I know a lot of older ladies that I know who go and pull the weeds. They're bending over like this and they're pulling weeds,
Constantly.
And I mean, that's just horrible for your spine and low back. So definitely just work on a small area, get down actually on your knees, use a pad so that your knees are not, right in the ground.
Yep.
And then, work like that. And I mean, all of these tips kind of mean you have to be a little more mindful about what you're doing. It's going to slow down your work, but that's okay.
Right, exactly.
Because we don't want you to be rushing through things. That's when injuries happen.
That's when injuries happen, exactly.
Right?
You try to cut corners, you try to be fast.
Yeah.
And you try just to get the job done.
And you try to do too much.
You try to do too much, exactly.
And, it's like maybe you're at a stage when you need to cut down the amount that you're doing in a day in terms of garden work. Like you used to be able to do your whole garden in a day. And now, you do the whole garden and then you're, on your back for like a week.
Which is not profitable.
It's not.
For you.
No, that's it. So like parcel it out, do a little bit at a time and pace yourself.
Awesome.
All right.
Those are great tips. Oh my gosh. Fantastic. I'm going to actually use them this weekend because I got to do my gardening. I'm gardening every day pretty much.
Yeah. I have to do some things too on the back patio. We got like weeds coming through the patio stones. Yeah. Drives me nuts. Anyway.
Awesome,
guys.
So, thanks for watching this video. If you like it, please share it with everyone you know. Follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Check us on our website, www.crosschiro.ca.
Yes.
Again, if you're, That's
Sounds
awesome.
good. That's awesome.
Sounds good. I was going to say something else, but I'm not going to.
That's it.
It's all good. We're all good. Enjoy your weekend in the great weather and fantastic weather. Get lots of planting in, lots of gardening in. And if you have any other tips or places where you can find organic seeds, post them in behind. I want to know about that stuff. It's my first year doing garden. And we will talk to you
later.
Next week.
Have a great week, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.